Welcome to the Cryptosphere. This is Cryptogenic coming at you. Today is Wednesday, May 18th at 2:38 p.m. here in Northern California. In today's video, I'm going to make a case for a 2022 bull run, folks. That's right. I'm going to make a case for a 2022 bull run. I know you're going to say I'm crazy, but there's just certain rules that govern my approach to crypto. And one of the first rules is reverse the narrative. Reverse the narrative. There's many different ways to communicate this rule, but the basic concept is this. When they say it's bad, it's good. When they say it's good, it's bad. When everyone in the media is saying Bitcoin is done, crypto is done, it's dead, that's the time to buy. And when everyone in the media is saying crypto is gold, everybody needs to have it in their portfolio. I mean, remember, taking a look at this chart over here in March of 2020 when it crashed, everybody in the media was saying it's horrible, it's dead, it's done, it's over, kaput. And then when it was up here in the 50,000 range, everybody was saying everybody needs a little Bitcoin in their portfolio. So everybody's speaking well of it after it's exploded. But when it breaks down, everybody speaks negatively of it. So with that being the case, the question is, where are we right now? You probably remember a couple of months ago, I took a look at this fear-greed index. It was bad then. It's worse now. Look at this. Yesterday, we were at an 8. Today, we are at a 12. So we are in extreme fear, folks, in extreme fear. Remember, when everybody's afraid, that's the time to buy. And when everybody's greedy, that's the time to sell. So buy the fear and sell the greed. That's another way to state my basic principle. Reverse the narrative. Fear is good, greed is bad. Right? And so the greed is so bad. I mean, the fear is so palpable right now because everybody's just so disappointed. And that's what moves like this do, is they breed disappointment. We just expected, we thought we were going to break above this level here and move up, but we crashed down. And there's these cycles of elation and devastation, elation and devastation. And just when you think we're having another cycle of elation, we get devastation. And so, but the opposite is also true. Just when you think we're going to get another round of devastation, that's when elation hits. Now let's drill into this a little bit more. I've got a blank chart here because I want us to see something. I'm just going to look at the RSI on the weekly chart. And this is what I notice. Boom. This oversold position here on the weekly chart is rare. We hit it here in December of 2018. This was the crash of 2020. We didn't even hit the bottom of this. So we're slightly lower here than we were in 2020. We hit it in 2015. And that's it, folks. So the RSI on the weekly chart has not been this low since 2020. But every time the RSI gets into this position, what happens? Boom. 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 So what do you think is going to happen here? Especially if we come down and touch this line, boom. Right? Okay, maybe these lines are exaggerated. I don't expect to go that high. But the point I'm making is that the RSI coming this low into the oversold position on the weekly chart is extremely bullish for the market. But secondly, let's take a look at this, okay? Let's just take a look at what has happened when the RSI gets this low. Actually, I'm going to look at date and time range. So when we hit this point here, it took us 520, well, let's just, yeah, that way we're in less than a year, 343 days, all right, to get to the top. And then from this bottom to this top was 210 days. or 217 days, let's say. Now this one, I'm gonna use it even though it didn't touch the bottom, because it's still, for Bitcoin on the weekly chart, this is still oversold. How long did it take us to hit this top? It was 301 days. Now let's look at the corresponding price charts to these moves. First of all, if we come back here to this bottom, it corresponds to this bottom here in the price. And this top, so let's just use this top here. It's about 213% in a little less than a year. So when it hit this bottom, when it got to that top, that was 213%. Okay? That's not like a huge bull run, but nevertheless, it's not nothing either. Now let's take the next one. This corresponds to this bottom here. We made it to this top. Well, let's just use this one here. In 245 days, actually, we should stop here because, yeah, that's where it stopped. 320% in 217 days. All right, that's not, huge, but it's also not nothing. Now, from this bottom here to this top here was, well, actually, if we use this top here, it takes us up to this candle here. So that was 817%. However, if we go to the top of this run, it was 1,600%. But let's stop here where we top out in the RSI. We top out here in the RSI at 817%. So if we look at the last 3 times we got this low in the RSI on the weekly chart, what followed within less than a year, 336 days, 217 days, and 301 days, we were at 213%, 320%, and then 817% in less than a year in all 3 situations. So we don't know how far down this is going to go on the weekly chart, but we don't know that we're at the absolute bottom. It could come down and touch this line again. It could break beneath this line. It could establish a new low. But all I know is that when this is finished making its low, when it turns around and starts moving up, we have 3 precedents for expecting a minimum 213% move for Bitcoin in the days that follow, in the next year that follows, in the next less than a year, between the low is 217 days and the high is 336 days. So that means if we say, first, let's take a look and figure out where the bottom might be for Bitcoin. So I'm going to look at a 4-hour Bitcoin chart. And in this 4-hour Bitcoin chart, what we can see is that we were in this symmetric triangle here, but we broke down bearish out of it. So whenever you're looking at a symmetric triangle, you got to check the break of that triangle. Look for the break of that triangle to determine the next destination. So we've broken down bearish out of that, which means, and then secondly, we've got a bearish break in the RSI as well. So what we can expect is a highly probable revisitation of this low here at about 25,382. We could even, looking at the depth of this triangle, make it all the way down to about $24,000. So that's possible, right? And I'm seeing that structure pretty much on every other chart. What am I looking at? Wrong charts. Oh, I'm on my other computer. If I see this on the 4-hour chart, we're looking at the same structure here for, say, Theta token. And we're seeing this on virtually every chart, right? We've got symmetric triangles everywhere. We've broken down bearish out of them. And so we're looking at some lower levels here. Good chance that we're going to be looking at lower levels for a lot of these assets. So I don't claim to know where or when the bottom is. I'm simply saying that when we do finish bottoming out and this thing turns around, all glory is going to break loose in this crypto market. Now, what would that look like? Let's say we get the minimum 213%. If this is the bottom here at 25,000, what would 213% look like? Well, it would look like about 80 grand. Little less than 80 grand. Now, what if we got 320%? Well, that would look like somewhere around 108. Now, what if we got the whole 817%? Let's drill into this a little bit more so we can be a bit more precise. 117% would take us up to about 233,000. But one last data point I need to give you is that, are you noticing a trend? Every one of these responses to bottoming out in the RSI is getting bigger than the last one. Every one, 213 to 320, 320 to 817. What if this next one's even bigger? Not saying it will be, but I'm saying it could be. So when I'm looking at this RSI here on the Bitcoin chart, and I'm seeing that we're coming down towards this line, it's bearish, yes, inherently, but eventually it's bullish. And when will this market turn around? Well, I'm still thinking that between now and midsummer, we're going to see a major run begin. And going into August, September, I think all heaven is going to break loose. I think we're going to see higher highs in every asset. But the one thing I know is this: you buy the fear and you sell the greed. The worst thing for me I could do is sell the fear. I don't sell into fear. I sell into greed. When this is over here on the left and it's orange, that's not the time for me to sell. When it goes deep into the green, that's the time to start selling. And so that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So remember, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. If you are interested, check out my Patreon group. A lot of individuals there are calling it a crypto emotional support group. We have Zoom meetings every Monday afternoon for gold and higher. I answer questions. I look at any chart that's requested. And we support and encourage one another. It's a crypto brotherhood and sisterhood. It's a crypto family. That's really what I call it. So if you're interested, check it out, patreon.com/cryptogenic. But above all else, make it your aim to sleep in peace every night, wake in joy every morning, and walk in love every day. That's all I got for you. This is Cryptogenic, signing out.